What up, YouTube? I am your host, Mediocre tutorials and reviews, back in here with one more video. Guys, listen, you see the thumbnail, you see the title of this video. Actually, I have no idea what I'm gonna name this, but it is what it is. I'll figure it out. Now listen, guys, I just got a question over on my Instagram. Shout out to my IG, at Mediocre tutorials and reviews. It's long, but you know how to spell. If you don't, link down in the description box down below. Now guys, listen, the purpose of my Instagram really is to have you guys send me links and stories and videos all across the internet, whether it be YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, in order to consolidate my content finding process. That's the real reason for the Instagram, which is why I don't really post like that up there. You know, I don't really keep it that updated. It's really for that, and it's been a very successful tool at doing that. Now, within that, you're still gonna get people that's gonna hit me up on my Instagram and just want to ask me questions and shit like that. Now, I get a wide degree in variance of questions. And what I find is super interesting actually is that although it's 90% men that watch me on my channel as per my YouTube analytics, the amount of input that women like to give, even in the 10%, it's a lot more. It seems way over 10%. When I say from my YouTube comment perspective, when I look on my Instagram, and then when I also look at my Patreon, they seem a lot more involved, which I think is interesting information, but I guess that's kind of expected to a degree. Anyway, so I just got a question from a young lady, and she sent me a voice note. I wanted to play the voice note, and then I wanted to get into the question, okay? Let me play it, and then we'll come back in there.
Hello, so I ended up finding one of your videos on YouTube, and that led me down this rabbit hole of more of your videos, and I just can't believe that this is the way women are carrying on. It's mind-blowing, and I'm sure it is for you and most other men. And as a woman, I'm sorry that my kind are out here on this craziness. But I did have a question for you. How are you still able to date and find a woman with all this knowledge you have of all this corruption and craziness? And so I appreciate your content and wishing you more success.
All right, that was the message. I am not gonna call her information out because I'm not sure if she wants her information called out. But fantastic question, so I wanted to kind of dive deep into it. I think that the question is important, right? And here's why I think that it's important. When I look down into my comment sections from time to time, I see a wide degree of dudes that seem completely and utterly fed up. And I think a large reason for that is now men are exploding with comments across the internet, YouTube, in these public message boards, in these public forums, on these public videos, because now through the advent of the internet, men now have a place to have their stories be heard or to have their perspective be championed and talked about. When you look out into the media and you take a look at how the majority of the media is not created for men. It is created by women, majority for women. I mean, just take a look at the networks that you watch and just Google to see who are the writers for that. And then also look at the audience pool that actually watches the particular shows that you look at. I'm not gonna get into any specifics. So I think that when I look down in there and I see that, that's what I remind myself of, is that for a lot of people, for a lot of men, they are letting out years of things that had happened, and it explodes into the comment section. But here's what I fear from that, is that you let the rage consume you. And that's one thing that I talk about on the channel. I haven't talked about it in a long time before, but I think when I came up to this idea of understanding nature, right? And understanding, when I say nature, to me, it's human nature, because I think on both sides of the coin, you have shitty men and shitty women. But what you come to understand is how to perfect increasing your chances of getting non-shitty men and non-shitty women in and around your life. The thing is that from a relationship perspective, a lot of men are really interested on getting non-shitty women in their life. I think to a lot of dudes, at the end of the day, a lot of us still want to find one that we think is a ride or die. And I think it's just a component of our evolutionary biology to a degree. There's some of y'all that are poly as hell. It is what it is, though. So I wanted to state that first. I think that there's a lot of young men that are enraged, and you see it come out from a comment perspective. So I often ask myself, how can I make sure that as I do this content of some of the bullshit that I find on the internet, to continue to drop gems within the video of how to use this information to choose better into the future. Now, let me answer the second part of her question, because I think it was a good question. The second part of her question was like, how do you continue to date knowing all of this information? And here's the thing, is that seeing what it is, the things that I see, and there's countless videos on my channel that highlight some of the things that men have been saying for years, and it's using these videos as an example to tell a narrative or a story that hasn't been seen in any forms of media besides on YouTube, at least to this degree from a video content perspective. But I think it's important to understand that the things that I see do not deter me away from meeting women. Now, there's some dudes that are like, I'm out of here, I'm gonna go my own way. And at the end of the day, I think you have to respect a dude's decision to just peace up out of here if he's serious about it. I do think there's a majority of dudes that are monk mode or going their own way until they meet a girl that they actually like or actually respects them. Or, you could send them a video from this portion of the internet and it turned into a good conversation as opposed to a combative, non-accountable discussion. Essentially, what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't deter me from dating. It just makes me smarter in identifying bullshit or red flags when I see them, okay? I know this, okay? If you put 100 people in the room, 80 to 90% of these people in one room are overdue for therapy. I know that. You often don't come across healed people initially, on average, when you meet them. And I know that. My thing is how do I identify things that are unable to be healed, or things that are unable to be therapied, or things that are unable to be life coached out of them, and then I can pursue forward in a situation that is minimal or low degree of risk to myself. So essentially what I'm trying to say is that I don't use the videos that I put on this channel to deter me from women. I use it as information to know how to select better. Make sense? There's a term that I use on this channel, and I use it to describe trash-like behavior, abyss-level thinking, garbage behavior, mannerisms, and that term is hood booger. And that term, by the way, is not just specific to women, contrary to popular belief and assertion. It's anybody. It could be anybody. Shit, a dog can get a hood booger of the week award if it's on some bullshit. Anyway, and I use this term to segment out a population that to me is undateable, okay? I do that for a purpose. I put branding around that particular word. So in the mind of the consumer, the mind of the user, they say, okay, this is the shit that I should not be messing with. And the reason why I do that is I'm trying to rewire the way that some young men think. There are some young men that look at women exhibiting toxic behavior and have been conditioned to not only accept that toxic behavior, but also look out for it and find it and think that because of the toxicity, it's going to make the relationship better. Like just because there's highs at one point and then there's amazing lows, all of a sudden the dichotomy of the two is somehow going to make the bond a lot stronger. And it's logically imprecise. It's incorrect as hell. So essentially what I am trying to do is to remap or rewire how young men and young women consider certain characteristics of a significant other in accurately representing how much of a good bond that you will have with that person into the future. Now, and the flip side of the coin, the marriage thing is a completely other topic and conversation, but you didn't ask about that. So I have to answer that in another video. Anyway, thank you so much, Mama, for that question. I usually don't take questions on this channel, but it is what it is. So I thought it was a good question, well worded. I'll be honest with you, most of the people that send over voice notes, I'm thinking to myself, did you even think about this question before you even asked? Like, so I appreciated it. That has been my video. Questions, comments, concerns. Y'all already know what to do. Mediocre tutorials and reviews at gmail.com. Go on my Instagram. Go and add your boy, okay? Send me them links. Send me them videos. You understand what I'm saying? Oh, by the way, me answering a question is not going to become a commonplace, by the way. So don't go out to my Instagram and start sending me all these goddamn questions. I probably won't even see it. You understand what I'm saying? Until next time, you too.